youngentrepreneur.com. This type of information go a long way in building that trust and credibility. I like to usually recommend that it be placed here at the top in the header of the web page, and just talk a little bit to the experience of the history of the company, the experience of the founding members, and what makes you experts. What is it about your history and your business that makes you ad experts, as you've stated as part of the answering the first question, or as part of your brand, right? So talk to it here. It could be thousands of customers since 2002. It could be combined over 25 years online advertising experience. It could be thousands of satisfied customers. Whatever the case may be, try and have some kind of element that really talks to the trust and credibility factor to instantly be able to earn that trust and credibility. The third question you want to answer is what makes you different than the competition. And in fact, you may have that outlined here, although I think others might argue they do similar to the same service. So basically, with that, you want to try and differentiate yourself from the competition and showcase something that's unique to you guys, the way you do it. Is it the price point? Is it the level of service? Is it the guarantee? What are the elements that really talk to make separating you from the competition, so to speak? And you want to showcase that for the visitors front and center. So those three questions get people over that first 5 to 7 second hump. Ultimately, more will take on the rest of the content on the site, and they'll also do so with a lot less anxiety because you'll have answered those three important questions and are not kind of taking in your site at the same time wondering about those three important questions that they typically want answered. Next, I'm going to talk to this area right here. I do like the visuals. I do like the fact that you started to introduce, I guess, a core feature or benefit of the business. I usually like to recommend that you kind of take this area and just be explicit with it, and maybe go a little bit deeper and talk to three or four core benefits that kind of supports not only your branding at the top, but maybe your statement that you kind of introduced them to, which can serve as kind of your headline of sorts, right? So how is it proven advertising? What is it about the way you do things or the features and benefits of your services that kind of back up this statement, so to speak, and also back up the what you do statements of being advertising done for you. Talk to it immediately and to the point, and what you're in essence doing is kind of building momentum off an established kind of message that you want to get across to the visitor, which is we're experts and we do the advertising for you. It's proven advertising, and here's something to support that. So with those things, I typically recommend that here. Now, obviously, it takes away a little bit from the visual. Maybe you could add a few down here just to get with maybe even an overlay background, just so it stands out and it's easily legible, right? That's typical recommendation I like to make. Um, so I like this thing. I think these should be branded with an actual logo. People put a lot more importance on an actual logo or branded logo than they do seeing a URL. And these are very somewhat reputable brands. I know youngentrepreneur.com for sure. iSmallBusiness is another one as well. I mean, that's good. The only thing I would talk to in terms of optimizing this page is, typically people don't like to read sentence paragraph based content, and a lot of times they will actually just skim through it. So a lot of times when I see this type of content, I usually recommend at the very least just to bold or maybe italic some of the key takeaways that you want people to really get out of out of reading through this content, right? So just as a recommendation, if you're going to go with this type of format, just highlight some of the key takeaways that you want people to really get, for those who want to scan through things. Other than that, I would typically recommend that you go with bullet point form here. People like bite-sized content, easy to consume, straight to the point, explicit, etc. That tends to be and resonate a little bit better with visitors, and it actually helps them move along the entire path of the website. Some other common things, I don't know if you guys stand behind your website in some kind of guarantee, but showcasing that standard icon or logo can go a long way to lowering anxiety, ultimately increasing the chances that people will engage more and ultimately become customers of yours. Another thing you should definitely consider is adding a testimonial Testimonials are very important. It serves as social proof. People see like-minded people who've experienced your business in the past, had a positive experience, and shared it with you guys, who in turn share it with them. So have testimonials pretty much on every page of the site. You want to go with the format with just labeling it testimonials, having a picture of sorts, the standard quotes, and you just want to sign off with two or three variables about the person leaving the testimonial. So it could be name, city, service, name, city, year, company name, year, etc. Just something that just helps the kind of effectiveness of the overall testimonial, because nowadays every site has testimonials and they're losing their weight in terms of the value. So you want to go that extra step and kind of be more complete in providing your testimonials, just so it holds that weight as much as possible. So that pretty much covers it. I think if there's anything else I would talk to on the homepage is just the fact that there's a saying, the money is in the list. Not all people are ready to buy as soon as they land on the website for the first time. So have a process in place to capture their information. Maybe you have a newsletter and you list some benefits of the newsletter, and then you ask them to enter their email address and subscribe. You could then have an autoresponder sequence or something like that that follows up with them, builds your brand, answers any questions, reinforces the features and benefits, and ultimately when they are ready to make a purchase, you guys are top of mind and they decide to go with you guys versus your competitors. Next, I'll go to the About Us page. Here, there's another saying: people buy from people, not websites. They have to know you, like you, trust you. So your About Us page, you should really use it to showcase yourselves on a personal level, at least at the beginning, kind of like an introduction to the About Us section. And what I usually recommend is have a picture of the founder, the team, the offices, something custom and unique to you guys, and then kind of you emulate kind of a testimonial of sorts. So you put it in quotes. Just talk a little bit to maybe your experience, the level of service you provide, your passion for the industry, your interest in staying progressive and on top of what's working and maximizing ROI or whatever the selling points are, right? But you want to talk to it in a tone that it's as if you're speaking to them directly, kind of building that personal relationship aspect to that's ever important on an About Us page and as part of the user experience on the website. And then from there you can have the rest of the information, which is very valuable as well. And just again, for the key takeaways, just highlight some text that you want them to really know, and for those who just want to skim through things and browse through the options. Okay, so just quickly looking at this page, I do like the fact that it's kind of standard package, pretty self-explanatory how it works. The one thing I will say is, as soon as people see kind of an asterisk, right, even though it's clearly explained here, that there's just uncertainty. They don't really know. What do you mean? Method of depending on the method of payment. I think you should go a little bit over and above and kind of explain it in detail so it's easily understood and it's not something that would deter them. Perhaps they're saying, okay, well, I can't find out now. I'm not going to do this now. I'll go later. You want to try and address everything clearly and concisely. So one takeaway is to maybe just explain it in more detail or remove it altogether and just introduce that extra admin fee once they get to the page where they're choosing the different payment options, and then you could explain it there. The other thing I would talk to is maybe, you definitely want to include, I don't know if this is a sidebar area you can use, but definitely want to reinforce the testimonials here. You definitely want to do that. Maybe even have the newsletter sign up here as well. Getting emails in the list for people who are not ready to join, it could definitely go a long way to your overall efforts. Aside from that, show them an example of a 125 by 125. How experienced are your average customer to know this file size or see examples of the, of ones that have been created or are being used. For example, you talk about your ad experts ad creator to create your own, right? Maybe show them a couple examples of ones created with ad experts so they can see the professional, tone to them, and make them more confident that even though they don't have a banner ad, they could use this option and create this type of quality in joining, right? So just something to support the overall goal of getting them to join your packages, joining and taking advantage of your package. So your reseller opportunity, again, is pretty straightforward. I'm going to pause this 2 seconds, quickly review it, and give you some comments on it. Okay, so again, this probably the recommendations I'd have here kind of is probably the same ones that I recommend for the consumer side of things, where you want to show an example of a replicated site that you talk to, right? And maybe show some promotional marketing material as well, and all of these features and benefits, if they could be supported visually, could just help to kind of showcasing the benefits of your program and ultimately get more people to become resellers as part of the service. Other than that, again, I see a lot of text, and it all kind of looks the same. And yes, someone who really really interested, may take the time, but for most part, people just like to skim through content. But the truth be told, you kind of have it chopped up into little chunks of content as is, so there's not really, it's pretty good. Again, I guess I would just bold some of the words that I would say. Are the key takeaways that you want people to really understand about the business and how it works, right? So I think that concludes the review. The members section again, it's through a back end, makes total sense. I dealt with the majority of the tabs. Um, so yeah, I guess I'll leave it open to any questions or comments you may have. Just message me through the system. I'd be more than happy to kind of help you out where I can. So once again, I thank you very much for placing the order, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.